Hey there, how there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to yet another Cutter Top 10 video. And we're doing another tennis video, and this time it's the top 10 upsets in tennis history. There's a lot of times there have been massive upsets and all that. So we're looking at 10 of them and major storylines ahead. Number 10 is Boris Becker versus Pete Sampras at the 96 ATP Tour Finals. So this was the year-end tournament in which you named the number one. Pete Sampras looked pretty good. He was the world number one heading into this tournament, defending champion of this tournament in Germany, and was expected to cruise to victory. However, in some source, he would face his good friend Boris Becker, who in 1985 shocked everyone at age 17, winning the Wimbledon men's crown and then winning the next year. Becker would come back in form in the 90s and do decently enough to give Pete Sampras some fits. But Becker came through, and in 5 sets, he stunned Sampras in front of a home country crowd. And he did it. His tenacity worked for the best. Number 9 is Emma Raducanu and the U.S. versus the U.S. Open field. Raducanu was doing something big. She was ranked 150th unseeded. She had to win a qualification tournament just to get this far. So she did her job with style and grace. So it's really hard and all that to do everything and all that. Yeah, she was actually born in Toronto, and her family moved to England at 2 years old. So yeah, it's 2021. She was a qualifier and had to get through 3 tournament matches and all that. So that was just massive and all that. She was actually ranked 31st in the qualifying thing, and beat the Dutch Vivian Schoffs, the Georgian Miriam Bokvadze, and then Maya Sharif from Egypt to qualify. And then she beat Stephanie Fogo, Shang Zhu, Sarah Zaribis, Shelby Rogers, Belinda Bencic, Maria Sakkari, and Leylah Fernandez. Of course, I got pissed off because as a Canadian, I didn't want Leylah Fernandez to lose. I wanted my second Grand Slam U.S. Open champion in 3 years for a Canadian, as Bianca Andreescu won the 2019 crown. It was just amazing and all that. She took down Leylah Fernandez and took home gold. In fact, I wish that she had Canadian citizenship because we claim that as a title? Nah, we can't. I wish we could. Number 8 is Michael Chang versus Ivan Lendl in the 4th round of the 1989 French Open. It was just big. Ivan Lendl was this clay court specialist, basically doing his job after Boris, not Boris Becker, sorry, the other one, Bjorn Borg, retired. Michael Chang was just an unknown 17-year-old with Chinese parents, and this was played in the shadow of the Tiananmen Square massacre that year, 1989. So anyway, Chang is 17 years old, battled cramps and fatigue, and had to deal with Ivan Lendl, who was the world number one. It was a grueling 5-set match. Michael Chang in the 5th set famously did what they call an underhand serve, which was kind of legal. Lendl hit it into the net. But Michael Chang did everything in his power to throw Lendl off. And then, of course, he shocked everyone by winning the title in the first place, winning the 1989 French Open. He would have a bit of a renaissance in the mid-90s, but after that, nothing much. Number 7 is Julie Kwon. Well, her last name's Coyne versus Anna Ivanovic in the 2nd round of the 2008 U.S. Open. Julie Kwon, an American, was a qualifier ranked 188th in the world. She was up against it. She had to face the world number one Ivanovic from Serbia, who was pretty good herself and stunning. Anyway, the only stunning that happened was Julie Kwon winning in straight sets, crashing out Ivanovic. And it was just massive and all that. Number 6 is Mark Edmondson versus John Newcombe in the 1976 Australian Open final. As I mentioned in my last video, at times before 1984, the Australian Open was the fourth tournament on the calendar, as it was always French in June, then Wimbledon in July, then US Open in September, and then the Australian Open in December. Of course, they had to have it at the later months because the Australian summers are winters. However, Mark Edmondson, ranked 212 in the world, got in mostly due to the fact he was Australian, so they gave him a wildcard spot. He went to the final and faced John Newcombe, who is known for his artistic shots and all that, and beautifully played mustache. So yeah, Newcombe looked pretty good, but then he lost in 4 sets to Edmondson, and it was just amazing. Well, at least Australia won the Australian Open, so that's good, I think. Number 5 is Steve Darcis versus Rafa Nadal in the first round of 2013 Wimbledon. 2013 Wimbledon was a crapshoot for the great men. Like Djokovic fell early, and so too did Rafa Nadal to, I think it was Dustin Brown, or was it? Or was it Benjamin? No, Dustin Brown from Germany. But anyway, yeah, Steve Darcis shocked everyone. He was ranked 135th. He would face Rafa Nadal, who was fresh off winning the French Open, like he almost always did. Yawn. And then Darcis beat him in straight sets, mind you. So Nadal fell flat. Federer fell. Yeah, I think Federer was the one who fell to Benjamin. But yeah, Federer fell, and so too did Djokovic early. And it actually opened the door for Andy Murray to finally win Wimbledon and become the first British male since 1936 to do so. So it was just unbelievable what Darcis could do. Number 4 is Goran Ivanisevic's 2001 Wimbledon final against Patrick Rafter. Goran was given a wild card mostly due to the fact that he was a 3-time Wimbledon singles loser in the finals in 92, 94, and 98. But he pulled it off. He was serving great. He was the master of aces, and he did piss off British fans by taking out Tim Henman in the semis. He would face Patrick Rafter in the final. He was ranked 125th in a wildcard entry. But a funny thing happened during the 2001 Wimbledon final. It was played on a Monday. Usually, Grand Slam's done on a Sunday. Why? Because of the whole stupid rain problems. And this is before Wimbledon became covered. Having the covered roofs and all that. So they had to wait it out. But it actually worked out because Wimbledon announced that they would call it Fan Monday, which meant that the fans could come to center court, cheer for their players. Of course, Patrick Rafter for Australia, Gordon for Croatia, and basically make a lot of noise, just like normal tennis matches are. Of course, in Wimbledon, you have to be more subdued, but they let the fans just take over center court. And it worked. Rafter had chances to win, as I said in my previous video about the top 10 tennis chokes of all time. But yeah, Goran held his nerve. He served. He did well. And somehow, in some freaking way, he won the Wimbledon and became the lowest ranked player ever to win Wimbledon. Number 3 is George Bostel versus Pete Sampras in the 2002 Wimbledon second round. Pete Sampras was the king of Wimbledon in the 90s. He was doing quite well. He was trying to get to what was seen as the benchmark for Grand Slam titles, which was 12 by Roy Emerson, which is now 24 by Rafa. But anyway, Sampras looked good. The weird thing was that Pete Sampras was put on court 2, or basically an outside court, not a showcase court at Wimbledon, which was funny. Anyway, George Bostel was ranked 145th. He shocked Sampras in a 5-set battle on center court. NBC showed that as part of the hype package for the first weekend of Wimbledon. But anyway, yeah, Sampras couldn't believe it. He lost to George Bostel. And it almost ruined, I think it ruined Sampras in a sense, because Sampras, I was going to say 2003 was when he lost to Federer. But no, it was 2001. So yeah, Bostel beat Sampras. And it was one of the most unexpected exits in Sampras's storied career. So anyway, yeah, Bostel doing his job against Pete Sampras. It was just amazing. Number two is the greatest upset in ladies tennis, and that's Serena losing to Roberta Vinci at the U.S. Open semifinal in 2015. Vinci wasn't bad, but she wasn't great either. But the Italian just proved everything going. She used unconventional shots to ruin Serena's shot making ability. Serena actually was running away with everything because she won the Aussie Open, she won the French Open, and she won Wimbledon that year. She was 2 wins away from doing something that few women have ever done: win all 4 Grand Slams in 1 year. Steffi Graf was the last one in 1988. And, Serena wanted to win. Everyone wanted Serena to win. But then Vinci came with her unconventional shot. She won in 3 sets. And she gave a decent post match interview saying she was shocked and all of that. Vinci would actually face her fellow Italian Pennetta in the final, but lost to her. But at least she got to the final, and Serena could have done something magical in 2015, but she didn't. Sorry. And number one, by a long shot, in a sense, is Rafa Nadal's loss at the 2009 French Open against Robin Soderling. Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweetily tweet. You knew how to say it. Anyway, Rafa was considered unbeatable on clay. He was great. Every tournament he entered at Roland Garros was a championship. Basically, this was God mode, if you will. Soderling was ranked number 25, so he wasn't like a massive outsider. He was just that guy because Rafa couldn't lose to save his life, and Robin Sterling was trying to do something that his Swedish idol Bjorn Borg could do, win at Roland Garros. So in the third round, it was a shocking one. NBC broadcast this one live, and Soderling played the match of his life, winning in 4 sets over Nadal, shocking Nadal and proving that Nadal could be beaten. Soderling, I can't remember if he made the final that year. I don't think so. I think in 2010 he made the final and lost to Nadal. But still, it was just shocking to see Rafa fall on his favorite surface, that being clay court. And that's what happened. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond Ado.